Welcome to Stage 04. This is where CrowdSec stops being a thing you got working and starts being something you actually run in production. Lesson 10 is the console, the official web UI at app.crowdsec.net. We're going to enroll your instance in 3 commands, get alerts streaming into graphs and tables, and wire up real-time routing to Slack, Discord, or any webhook, so your team hears about attacks the moment they happen, not the next time someone tails a log. Before we touch the console, let's be honest about why it exists, because everything it shows is already in cscli. The difference is access pattern. cscli wins on scriptability, air-gapped operation, and direct DB access. The console wins on fleet view, alert routing, and giving your teammates read-only access without handing out SSH keys. Production teams run both, cscli for config and scripts, console for triage, sharing, and paging someone at 3 in the morning. So here's the map. 4 pages cover 90% of what you'll do. Alerts is your forensic timeline, every overflow ever triggered, filterable and clickable down to the source geo and scenario tree. Decisions shows what's actively enforced right now, with one-click override. Machines is your fleet topology, versions, heartbeats, a red dot when something goes stale. And blocklists is the one console-only feature. Subscribe to community lists like Firehole, or roll your own for the team. Bonus pages, notifications, audit logs, settings, handle routing, accountability, and RBAC. Now let's actually wire it up. Sign up at app.crowdsec.net, grab your enrollment key from security engines, and pass it to cscli console enroll. The instance shows up pending in the console. One click from an admin validates it, and cscli console status confirms you're linked. If you want the console to push decisions back or see your custom scenarios, flip the sharing flags. Console management, custom, alerts, manual decisions. Granular by design, opt in to what you want exposed. Once you're enrolled, the alerts page is where you'll live. Every row is one overflow and the anatomy is worth memorizing. Severity dot, source IP with country flag, the scenario that fired, the action chip showing ban or captcha plus duration, a timestamp that auto-refreshes, and crucially the source instance, which machine in your fleet caught it. Same data cscli gives you, but now sortable, filterable, and one click from a full inspect view. Scale up from one machine and the picture changes fast. Here's a 5-instance fleet on one screen, 2 prod boxes humming along with thousands of alerts, a quieter database node, an edge box flag degraded because it's running an older version and hasn't checked in for 8 minutes, and a staging machine that's gone stale, 2 days dark, probably forgotten. That's the value. Version drift, health state, and alert volume across the whole fleet at a glance. Click any row and you drop straight into that instance's full history. Now, fleet visibility is only half the story. You also need to know when something's burning without staring at a dashboard. That's notifications, and the model is 3 pieces. A rule that filters which alerts matter, channels that decide where they land, and a throttle so you don't get paged 500 times in an hour. Slack for team channels and on-call, Discord for home lab, email as the universal fallback or daily digest, and webhooks when you need pager duty, ops genie, or anything custom. The example at the bottom says it all. SSH brute force or that CVE scenario fires, it goes to security alerts, capped at 5 per hour. Console UI builds that rule for you. No YAML required. Once your team grows past 1 person, you need RBAC, and the console ships 4 sensible defaults. Owner is the founder. Full keys to the kingdom, including billing. Admin is your senior SRE, runs the fleet, tunes scenarios, but can't transfer the org out from under you. Member is the working engineer, reads alerts, comments, wires notifications, but can't reshape RBAC or yank instances. Viewer is read-only, perfect for audit, management, or that intern on week 1. And the killer detail, per instance overrides. Give someone viewer on prod and member on staging. Let them break things where it's safe. With roles sorted, the next question is which interface to reach for. Both work after enrollment, but they're not interchangeable. cscli talks to the local API directly. The console reads through the API and can push back. The pattern most operators land on is roughly 60-40. Console for triage, cscli for change. Visual questions, class, what just happened, fleet-wide volume, showing the team a recent attack, go to the console. Anything that mutates config, custom scenarios, mass deletes, parser debugging, stays in the shell. The rule of thumb writes itself. Console answers questions, cscli changes things. Now for the part nobody documents. The 5 console gotchas that have bitten everyone at least once. 1. cscli says enrolled, sidebar says pending, because an admin still has to click validate in settings. 2. Console enable custom ships every custom scenario you wrote, comments and all, so audit before you push. 3. Slack feeling sluggish? Console polls roughly every 30 seconds, so collapse your throttles or wire a direct webhook. 4. The same IP showing 5 alerts isn't a bug. It's 5 engines doing their job, group by source. And 5. If console decisions never land in cscli, your lappy can't reach API CrowdSec.net outbound. Check the firewall. So let's lock in the 6 skills you now own. You understand cscli and console as the same data through different doors. One scriptable, one social. You know the 4 views, the 3 command enrollment, how to route alerts without spamming the team, and how RBAC keeps prod and staging properly fenced. And the rule that ties it all together, console answers questions, cscli changes things. Stage 4 continues with Lesson 11, AppSec, the built-in WAF that stops attacks before they ever hit your scenarios. And that's Lesson 10 in the bag. Your instance is enrolled, your fleet is visible, alerts are routing, and RBAC is drawn up. The operations layer is live. Next up, we stop reacting and start blocking earlier in the chain. Lesson 11 is AppSec, the built-in WAF that catches SQL injection, XSS, and CVE exploits before a single scenario even fires. Load it up, and I'll see you there.